Hey everybody, welcome back. David Eon and the lovely Miss Lady Pop Hunter here with her parade route float wave there. Oh no, that's more like this, isn't it?
That's the Miss America.
That's Miss America. What do you do on the parade?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm not a huge fan of parades. I've never really sat there and watched one. But anyways, with another fading nostalgia discussion, and this one's a little off the beaten track, but it's something, that I've thought about a lot lately, looking at these modern films about how, modern film just can't cut it. It looks bad, it's badly acted, the writing is bad, the CGI is terrible, there's way too much of it, CGI in places where it's not even necessary, unlike, for example, Terminator 2, where they CGI'd the transformations of the T-1000, but everything else they did, they really blew up a building. They really hired twins so that they wouldn't have to do a split screen. They used a lot of practical effects so that to make it as realistic as possible, because you can still tell.
I saw a movie yesterday. That movie we were watching, that Agatha Christie movie.
Oh yeah.
And it was made in 2023, but it was set like in the 30s.
Okay.
And they showed the city and the cars driving, and it was CGI cars. Cause you can see by the way they were driving on the road. It didn't look right. Yeah. It didn't, and it's like, okay, you got a movie set in the 30s or whatever, and you couldn't find cars, because they keep cars for stuff like that.
Yes.
They CGI.
They CGI.
And they only showed it in that one scene. I guess they didn't want to do that too much. So it was only that one scene, but it was raining. So it was CGI rain and CGI cars.
That explains why the female lead was so arrogant, though, because I've seen older Agatha Christie films that were tolerable, but her character was insufferable. She was just flawless and perfect.
Yeah.
But more to the point, how bad films have gotten recently, but it extends into the actors themselves as well. And it's something that I can't think of his name off the top of my head. The actor who played Falcon in the Marvel films.
Oh, I know the guy, the black guy. I can't think of his name. Anthony.
Okay.
Anthony something.
He said that people don't go to the films to see them anymore.
No.
He was like, if basically suggesting, and I'm paraphrasing, if I go and act in something else, nobody cares. Why aren't you Falcon? Right? Because they're more interested in the character or the characterization than they are in the actor. And there's a lot of truth to that, because we've lost all of our legacy actors. It used to be, once upon a time, and we all grew up with this, and there's almost no examples of this left, that if a certain actor was in a film, oh, I want to see that. Why? Not because you don't even know what the film's about yet.
No.
You don't even, Kurt Russell's in a movie? Oh, okay. Oh, Jackie Chan is in a movie? I want to see that.
Schwarzenegger,
Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone.
Eastwood.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood. And, going back even further than that, the same thing could be said of the Duke. You remember?
Who's the Duke? That's John Wayne.
John Wayne. That's right.
Yeah, I like anything with Carrie Grant. If I see a show, an ad or a thumbnail or whatever on the services, and they say Carrie Grant, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Just because Carrie Grant's in it.
Sigourney Weaver had that.
Ugh.
She did.
She did that Planet of the Apes. Not Planet of the Apes. Apes in the Gorillas in the Mist.
Oh yeah, Gorillas. Yeah, she did. But she had some clout. Once upon a time, some actors have murdered their clout. They've ruined it. Schwarzenegger has destroyed his clout with the statements that he made during the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
People were really angry with him, and so now if he's in a film, I don't think anybody would care, because there were professional powerlifters and strongmen who took all of his stuff out of their gyms
That's how we get the Shaw Classics now.
Yeah, the Shaw Classic.
Brian Shaw was big in the Arnold Classics.
The Arnold Classic.
And he pulled out and then created Shaw Classics.
Yeah.
So now you have a whole nother strongman competition.
Yeah.
Because he got mad
with Schwarzenegger for his statements. But yeah, he ruined his clout. And, you know, some people, they stretch the limit beyond their clout, like Jackie Chan now.
Yeah.
Because he can't do what he used to do, and so people aren't so as enthusiastic anymore if he's in a new film, especially after he did some really crappy comedy versions like The Tuxedo, which is hard to watch. But
yeah, I turned that off.
And we've seen some cheesy films with Jackie Chan from the 70s that are
pretty good.
They were good.
They were good.
Tuxedo is terrible, but there's very few people left, like Tom Hanks. Oh, there are a lot of people that might go see a film that Tom Hanks is in.
I'll go see a film with Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay.
I like Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's a good actor.
Really good actor.
Yeah, I like him. I mean, yeah, he's been in a couple, not too many stupid ones, but I've seen a lot that he's been in, and I think he's very underrated.
I
think he's very underrated. But I don't think I really know too many other people that if I saw their names...
Or Tom Cruise. A lot of people will jump off on Tom Cruise because he stays true to his method. So if he put out another Mission Impossible film, people will go see it. He put out the Top Gun. People were willing to give it a chance because it was Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And it paid off. It felt like it was connected to the original film, which is what they want, what people want. Other people have destroyed their credibility, like Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford's got zero credibility anymore because he's been involved with the killing of two legacy characters, which is Indiana Jones and Han Solo. He and people are like, oh well, you know, you can't blame the actor. Did that actor not sit at a table with producers, with his attorney, and read hello, Miss Kitty, and read a script? And say, yeah, I'll do this. How much? So yes, you can blame the actors for if they're in a really crappy film because they knew what they were getting themselves into. There's almost no. And then when they say they didn't know, like George Clooney in Batman, you know they're lying.
Yeah, because you had to read this.
You had to read that script and then you negotiate.
Yeah.
And in these cases, Harrison Ford included, he read it. Knew it was trash. Knew they were going to kill... because both of them died in the films. And not only in the case of Indiana Jones did the character die, but the entire legacy of... or the history of the film died with it.
Well, I heard from Indiana Jones that Harrison Ford didn't want to play that character anymore.
Yeah.
So the only way he could do it was for them to kill off Indiana Jones so he wouldn't have to play it anymore.
Yeah, and a bigger paycheck, I'm sure. Because he didn't have to do it. He could have just kept refusing. He didn't. If he knew it was no good or he didn't want to do it, he could have kept refusing. It's as simple as that. Plus, it destroys the canon of the Indiana Jones Chronicles television series, which was a good show. But it does. It destroys the canon.
I don't know.
But
no, but I get what you're saying because it ain't too many actors like Sylvester Stallone. I'll still watch his stuff.
If he pops up in a film, and he was in one last year,
Samaritan.
Yeah,
we
that
saw
wasn't bad.
Yeah, it
wasn't bad.
I mean, you knew where it was going, but
yeah.
It was still pretty good. Again, I would go see Joaquin Phoenix.
Or his Expendables runs.
I never saw the Expendables.
The Expendables is not bad. It gives you exactly what you expect from it. It looks like a crazy kind of 80s shoot-'em-up macho film. It doesn't purport to be anything else. And he's making a point in it as well because they call it the Expendables because everybody who stars in the film are all basically washed up action stars. And so he was like, yeah, when Hollywood was done with these people, they threw them away. They're expendable. Yeah. And that's kind of a little dig, but it's a popular series.
Yeah, that guy J.K. Rowlands, I like him. He plays Omni-Man now. And he's been in a bunch of stuff. and I like him as an actor.
Yes.
And it's another guy, it's a British guy. I can never think of his name. He plays in a lot of stuff. If I see him, I'll watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a handful of people. It's like, oh, okay.
It's not like it used to be, though.
No.
There's very few where, even if they're good, they turn up in a film, and nowadays you don't even seem to care anymore. You know?
People will go see Michael Keaton. They went to go see him in Flash. That's the only reason they went to see him.
Yeah, but
then
he's...
was Batman.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, and he was Beetlejuice, which they are filming a second one.
Yeah.
We've already seen some still shots from that, from some outtakes, but again, he's a legacy actor from the 70s, 80s. That's another.
There's no current ones. I know what you mean.
There's almost nothing current. People don't seem to care.
Yeah, I can't think of a current actor that if they came out with something, I would go see. I would see something if they're playing a specific character, like the guy that plays Reacher now on Amazon.
Which is a throwback show. It looks like an 80s show, except it can be kind of gruesome. But there's a few really rough scenes in it. But it feels like one of those 80s 80s shows. Yeah,
but I would only watch him in Reacher. You know what I mean?
I see.
Unless, when that comes out, I'm like, okay, I'll watch that. So, yeah, I wouldn't just follow his movie career. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's anybody current that I would, Yeah,
mostly it's a bunch of old school people still hanging by a thread. That, like I had mentioned, Tom Hanks, a lot of people might go see a Tom Hanks film, which Forrest Gump saved his career because he was doing garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of, you remember, what is it, Splash and Joe versus the Volcano and Turner and Hooch and just really crappy sitcoms.
The Burbs.
That if you never saw it again, you wouldn't care. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then he did Forrest Gump, and then people were like, oh, he can act.
Forrest Gump was good.
Kind of like how John Travolta's career was saved by Pulp Fiction. He was in good stuff, and he is a talented person.
Yeah.
But he did, I think it was the Look Who's Talking series.
Oh, yeah.
Ruined his career, and he couldn't get work for a long time. Mm-hmm. And then when he was in Pulp Fiction, it reminded people that he could act. He was like, okay, actually, he's not bad. Yeah, I hope so. He was a Broadway performer. Yeah. And that's no punk.
And he can sing and dance.
Sing and dance and everything. And he was in some monumental films in the 70s and early 80s. Mm-hmm. And then, then he did Look Who's Talking. And then it's just like, oops, not the best idea. But we don't seem to have, again, too many of those type of actors anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, so where is that going to bring the movie industry? You got almost no actors with any credibility, and then if you do, they put their foot in their mouth trying to be snarky or trying to act all political. Oh, I'm going to be an activist for this and that and don't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
They say stupid things like the girl from Hunger Games. I was the first female action role.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, are you kidding? There's been female action characters going all the way back to like the 40s. And
she was the first one.
Yeah, I guess so. She went back in time. I think even, what's her name? Oh, who was it? I can't remember her name. She played Lieutenant Yar on Star Trek The Next Generation, that actress.
Oh, she even said something about it.
Yeah. She said that something like, I really want to thank her for going back in time and making it possible for me to get my role on Star Trek. Something to that effect. It's like that was such a dumb thing. And then she sits there and says, oh, I made it up because I'm not very well educated. What are you talking about?
She dropped out of school in 8th grade.
Yeah, and because most actors who are acting at that time, they end up with a tutor. Is your tutor not doing the job? Obviously, you can read if you can do a script. I don't know what to say about that. But yeah, they say stupid stuff, or they come up with things, or they jump on bandwagons and make themselves look foolish. Mm-hmm. There's bad writing. a lot of these, especially nowadays, it seems like everybody's so stiff and wooden, and do you not know how to emote, or you're just repeating lines, you know?
But it wasn't that, like, the whole purpose of acting from the beginning, you had to be able to, like, cry and show emotion and do all that? Yeah. So what do you learn in acting school now, or is it no more acting school?
I don't know. And you think about stuff like Demi Moore. Mm-hmm. And I had heard it said, correct me if I'm wrong here, if I'm thinking of the right person, mm-hmm. that when she was in Ghost and they wanted to tell her to cry, mm-hmm. and he was like, I want to keep it subtle. And she was like, left eye or right? And the director's like, wow, okay. You know, that she can control it like that. Mm-hmm. Or watch Highway to Heaven. You want,
Jonathan can cry on a dime.
Michael Landon will just go to pieces and blubber. You know, if
his lips shaking and everything.
Something heartbreaking is happening on Highway to Heaven, and you can see him well up. It's not menthol, because that's an old actor's trick. You put a little menthol on your finger and you rub your eye, and then it'll start to water. You can see him well up, and he starts quivering, and it's like, damn, you know, that's where is this skill anymore with these actors? Where is it? I don't know either. And then you got actors who are really good, and they're in so many bad films, you don't trust them, like Samuel L. Jackson. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
And he's in, I mean, probably more than 50% of his films are terrible.
He was good in that movie. What is it? Sunset Limited, I think. You remember it was the stage play with him?
Yeah, it was an adapted play with...
what's the white guy name that played Two-Face, didn't he?
Yes, he did. I know who you're talking about.
I can't think of it. Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes, that was it.
That was a good movie.
It was just the two of them sitting, like, in a studio apartment, having a conversation for like an hour and a half. Yeah. But it was really well done. The two of them did a great job.
Yeah. It was a good movie.
Tommy Lee Jones is another one who can act really good, but has been in a crap ton of bad films, and so you don't trust it. Especially after that okey doke with Snakes on a Plane with Samuel L. Jackson, and how they use the internet to give fake reviews. Yeah. That was like the first big film to give fake reviews on, and people went to the movie and they're like, "What the hell is this? This belongs on like riff tracks or Mystery Science. This is not what I expected at all."
Yeah. And you can't trust people don't like Eddie Murphy anymore. He used to be a big time actor.
Eddie Murphy will take anything. That's the problem.
He's in something now. Candy Cane Lane or something like that.
Yeah, and it looks like it might be an interesting Christmas film, but you can't trust it. And he was in some great...
What do you mean by that?
Because
you can't trust it.
It looks like you can't trust any trailer. A trailer's designed to look good.
Yeah,
and half
you're
the time,
right about that.
Half the time, it's a polished turd. Okay, they said, "Here, we made a really shitty film. Here is a turd. Polish it for us and tell people it's good." Eddie Murphy will take anything, and he has admitted that himself, and that's part of his problem. When he hosted Saturday Night Live, which when he came out on stage, because he was originally a player on Saturday Night Live, and then you didn't see him on Saturday Night Live again. Then he just turned up once, and it was just before, was it Beverly Hills Cop? I think it was just before that was going to come out, and he said that he took it because he needed the work, because he didn't know where his career was going. Paraphrasing again, of course, because I don't remember exactly how he put it. Never, ever expected to set foot on a Saturday Night Live stage again. And, took some big checks for some bad films. But then came Beverly Hills Cop, and wow, surprise. And now I don't need to be here, but I signed the contract. But he's one of those people that would sign anything. Sean Connery was like that too, but he didn't have too many dogs.
I thought Sean Connery was a good actor. I liked him.
He's a good actor.
I would watch his film.
But he's another one that he didn't read the scripts too good, and that's why he retired. If I'm thinking of the right thing, he was offered Gandalf on Lord of the Rings, and then but he took League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which was a dog. It was a bomb, and he was like, well, I guess I just can't pick them. I time to retire.
Why you got to make the voices and everything?
Why not? Sean Connery.
I like Robert Redford.
Uh-huh.
But then again, he's old.
Yeah.
He's an old actor. Yeah, it's no modern actors.
Well, it wasn't. Didn't he turn up in the second? In the second, what was it? Captain America. He was the main villain.
I don't remember.
Business. I'm trying to think. I think it was Robert Redford, and I had heard the commentary on the film that it wasn't a bad film, but you have a problem when I'm assuming that's Robert Redford. I'm trying to remember. Shows up and outacts everybody in the movie. It was like not a bad movie. And that was the one where with the helicarriers and they were trying to... I think
so, because it does seem like he was in a Marvel film for a minute. Yeah. It was just a small role. Yeah. It does feel like he was in one.
And that was the commentary I had heard about it. It was like, wow, he just outperformed everyone in the film. And he didn't even have a big part.
No, it was a tiny part.
Because it was the one that was kind of anti-government because of the helicarriers, and they were trying to... the Hydra was about to take over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I don't know. I don't like the direction that it's going in. It seems like we haven't had a real blockbuster since Endgame, which itself has...
I think the Joker and the Batman movie were blockbuster films.
All right, that's true, because the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix was well written, well acted, and did perform very well.
And I think it was the cinematography was pretty good because they didn't use a lot of CGI. The movie didn't call for CGI. Yeah. Now they used a lot of CGI in the Batman film. They used a good bit. It wasn't too heavy.
Not too much, but yeah.
Yeah, like the car scenes, some of the explosion maybe. It wasn't too heavy like when you get people that need to fly and space stuff, you get a lot of CGI. Those two movies didn't call for a lot. I thought the writing was good and the acting was good. Now, will I go see a Patterson film? No. No. I'll see him if he's in the Batman.
Yes, exactly.
But Joaquin Phoenix, I'll go see.
Yeah, and we liked I know some people didn't care for it, but we liked that particular portrayal. Mm-hmm. We liked the broodiness.
Yeah, I'm actually excited about the next Batman and the next Joker. Those are the only two films that I'm actually excited about and can't wait to see. Yeah. I'm actually planning on going to the theater to see those. Anything else? No.
No, and that's a shame. Yeah, it's a dying industry, and it's dying because of their injection of sociopolitics, forcing it into a perspective. They're trying to cram a square peg into a round hole. And
it's too woman heavy. I don't like movies with women lead. I have never liked. I know that sounds bad. People not gonna like it, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I never did. I've never liked those types of films.
And it can be done because people bring that up with Aliens all the time.
Now that one was good.
Alien and Aliens, the first two were the best ones, and that's a female lead, and it's a likable, believable character.
Yeah. Now if it calls for Aliens, that was fine. Yes. The Color Purple, that was woman-led. That was fine. It depends on how they portray. Yeah, the original. It depends on how they portray the woman. What is she doing? Is she overpowering a man, or are they kind of just telling her story? It depends on how they depict her. If they depict her as this super strong, I am woman, hear me roar, and I overshadow all men, then no, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I'm perfect and suck it up. Yeah. that's something that people are just really tired of, and it steals a dynamic from the character because you don't get to see them develop. You don't get to see them overcome a flaw. That's why Sigourney Weaver worked in the first film. She was terrified, but she did what she needed to do, and that's commendable. In the second film, she was terrified and didn't, when you see that when she comes to the sergeant and she was like, she has the rifle, can you show me how to use this? Absolutely, because they needed the help, and he walked her through it. She didn't just automatically know, lock and load, bitches. Nobody wants to see that. It's not believable.
Yeah, like the movie we saw yesterday that we talked about at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
It was an Agatha Christie film, Invitation to a Murder is the name of the film. And you got this woman, she's the lead character. Fine, whatever. She's like this wannabe detective. She's not a detective. She's she owns a flower shop.
Yes.
But she reads a lot of crime novels. So they go to this place and somebody gets murdered and she's on the case.
Telling people what to do, and they just do it.
Yeah.
And not in charge of nothing.
No, because nobody's in charge of nothing. They're invited, and they're waiting on the host.
Yes.
So while they're waiting, somebody gets killed. And she's on the case. From the time she walks through the door. And they did address that. You've been bossing us around since you got here.
And still let her.
Yeah. They still fall in line.
Another one that I think is a good example, a more modern example, since everybody talks about Sigourney Weaver or talks about Sarah Connor from the Terminator films, which the first two she was fine, but in later films it was almost intolerable.
Yeah,
her character,
she did.
The last Terminator film, her character wasn't even necessy at all.
And they basically said as much.
What are you doing here? Yeah,
they basically said as much.
But it was Pacific Rim.
Oh, yeah.
The Asian girl. Very humble, very quiet, not disrespectful to authority. You're off the team. I understand. Walks away, but doesn't give up, but not going to disrespect her command or whatever. Thinks she knows what she's doing, nearly gets the whole ground crew killed because she panics. And the guy talks her down. Relax. It's not real. It's just a memory. Just listen to my voice. Come on, calm down. She learns. She learns, and she helps. And together, the two of them overcome by the end of the film. Yeah. You watched her character develop. She wasn't perfect from the beginning. And that's a huge flaw that's in modern films. I know we ended up talking about something entirely different. Yeah, but it ties together. How it goes. It ties together because modern films, I mean, it's too sketchy. There are too many that are just. It's not even worth seeing. No. People don't want to go to the theater anymore. It's become disappointing, and we've seen the death of a lot of really beloved franchises in the last few years. And we would like to see better. But you know what? You don't even have to watch any modern films because there's plenty enough films already been done in the last century that you can enjoy them for a lifetime. Yeah, and that's what we do. Never see a new film again. Anyways, thoughts? Anybody have any comments on that? There's a lot to digest. Yeah. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. All of that good stuff. And if that's it, then what more can I say but thanks for watching. And we will see you again soon.